3 series tonight. As you take a look at the updated bracket, 1 in the East and 2 out West. Magic will look to take a 3-1 series lead home tonight against the top seed Pistons. And we could see both Western Conference series end tonight if the Thunder and T-Wolves see things through. We've got Ashley Nicole Moss to break down the 3 series tonight in the association. Let's start with that Minnesota-Denver one, where we came into this one thinking it would be hotly contested. Injuries to the T-Wolves and both Dante DiVincenzo and Anthony Edwards here. So can Denver, as double-digit favorites, you think, take advantage of that here tonight?
So here's the thing about Denver. They have come back from this situation before. You go to 2020 against the Utah Jazz and the Clippers, so they did it twice. But the difference between what I'm seeing and what I saw in 2020 versus now, it's just the tale of 2 separate teams. And that's the thing that's worrisome is if the Denver Nuggets were playing the brand of basketball that we all expected, including myself. Look, I picked the Denver Nuggets to come out of this series. I picked them to go to the Western Conference Finals. I have that much faith in Jokic and what I believe is the championship caliber of a team of the Denver Nuggets. The issue is I have not seen that in this series. You think about the last 2 games, the Wolves held the Nuggets to under 100 points in games 3 and 4. Jokic's shooting has been under 40% in 3 consecutive games. And when your best player is not playing his best, I say all the time, it's a domino effect to the rest of the team. The supporting cast is there. They just haven't been performing. So you feel the void rather, of Jokic's shortcomings even more. And I think the biggest thing that we are seeing has been the story of just Minnesota's defense. It has been absolutely debilitating for the Denver Nuggets. They have no answer for it. When you talk about a defense that's never give an inch, never give a breather, that's exactly what the Timberwolves have been doing to Denver. So, yes, their history has shown they can absolutely pull themselves out of this deficit, especially when you talk about the injuries to 2 elite scorers in Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo. Minnesota's going to feel that tremendously. But it's hard for me to put stock into a team that doesn't look reminiscent of the one that I saw in 2020 that got out of this situation. Right now, I'm leaning towards all Minnesota has to do is win 1. I don't have the faith yet in what I've seen from Denver to win out and run the table.
Yeah, we were sitting here, 2 weeks ago? Denver was one of your 5 teams that could win the NBA championship.
Yeah, and they do not. I mean, we're talking about what was the best offense in the NBA in the regular season, and you would not know that by how they've been playing.
DiVincenzo with an Achilles, unfortunately. Edwards dealing with a knee issue. It could be multiple weeks, so we'll continue to monitor how that affects Minnesota if and they're able to close this series out and what that projects forward. Let's get to the Magic and the Pistons. They will be home underdogs, but boy, on the court, they've looked every bit the part of a contender to the Pistons here. What kind of sticks out to you most about Orlando-Detroit?
There's a few things. It's kind of the tale of 2 tapes. I think that when you talk about the Orlando Magic, one of the things that was kind of concerning to us, which I think a lot of people picked, the Pistons to come out of this series, it wasn't going to be an easy one. And again, the series is far from over. But I think when you talk about the Magic, we'll start there, is you've kind of seen their offense figure it out. I think that tandem of Banchero and Wagner has been a question mark throughout the regular season. You talk about injuries and things like that, but a lot of people have wondered, can they play together? And you're kind of seeing them figure it out in real time, in addition to like the supporting cast. They've always been a physical team. They've always been a big team, and they're playing to their strong suit. And when you talk about the Detroit Pistons, a lot of the games that they have won in the regular season, the DNA of their makeup, if you will, is that they play physical. But now you're going against a team that can meet you exactly where you are, and also when they're playing their best, outscore you. When you look at that last game, Cade Cunningham's free throw attempt at around 3 minutes in the 4th was the last time the Pistons scored. And then you had Orlando just absolutely run the table. So the issue is that a lot of the times from what I'm seeing is that you have Cade out there playing essentially 1-on-5 because there's not a lot of secondary scoring when it comes to the Detroit Pistons. And I don't know what's going on with Jalen Duren. He had an all-star regular season and has just been a non-factor in this series. So it's just so much emphasis on Cade Cunningham, Cade Cunningham, Cade Cunningham. And yes, Tobias Harris did help in that last game with 23 points. but it's just like it's so inconsistent, and your constant factor is Cade. But if you figure out a way to lock Cade down, who's next man up? And I don't know if they have that in Detroit.
Which is interesting. You mentioned how narratives change between regular season and postseason, because with Jalen, 22-year-old All-Star right now, Ashley, during this series with the Magic, just 9 points, 8.3 rebounds for the top seed in the East.
Yeah. It's a very weird kind of flip, if you will. But I think that again, series is far from over. But if the Magic continue playing the way they have been playing, we could be having a very different conversation.
All right. And then we have one more series to hit upon here, and that would be OKC and Phoenix. We know Devin Booker, for the first time maybe in forever, talking about the officiating, didn't like how things were called, but also OKC double-digit favorite against Phoenix tonight, and so far no resistance in the playoffs.
Just don't screw it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you're Oklahoma City. You got to take the easy series when you can take them. And I always say this, if you have the chance to sweep, I understand it's hard to close out series because psychologically, you know you have a lot of cushion room if you don't close it out. But take the rest, take the breather. If it's there, just play your brand of basketball and wrap this series up. It's really that simple.
Lastly, we have reports out there that your Knicks and Mike Brown,
here we go,
let go even if they make the NBA Finals. So they could win the East, according to this report, and he would be in hot water. What do you make of what we're kind of reading into today?
That's crazy. I mean, think about what we just said. If the Knicks make the NBA Finals, the head coach that took them there could be on the hot seat.
Wow.
That doesn't make any sense. It will never make any sense. I just think it's one of those situations, you know, Knicks for clicks, if you will. But I will say this. If the Knicks underperform, we might be having these types of conversations later on, especially in the offseason. I think that the Knicks are in a space of times of the essence. You know, this roster is not getting any younger, and you have always been working towards the NBA Finals, potentially winning the NBA Finals. That's what this roster was created to do. And I do think that as you have an aging roster, you can't prolong the inevitable. If something doesn't work, you got to correct it. Now, you can't correct it unless you have a legitimate option to replace him. I don't recommend doing that. But this is a drastically different situation than Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau had years with the Knicks, and we just could not get over the hump. But this idea that the Knicks would go to their first NBA Finals since the 90s, and you're going to fire the coach that takes you there, even if you don't win, getting there has always been the goal. Getting there has always been why this roster was created and built brick by brick. So to say that a coach that gets you there and maybe you don't win it, especially if you're going to go against an OKC or something like that, the reigning champs, the best team in basketball, that's absolutely ridiculous. It's not going to happen. Like, it's not even a feasible conversation.
As they say, the timing is odd a little bit too, given that the series
everybody
is
wants
still
to knock us off our balance, Tommy. You see that? That's why Knicks fans, we say Knicks for clicks, because we tied the series up with Atlanta, and all of a sudden there's reports that we're going to fire our coach even if he takes us to the finals. Don't take the bait, New York. Focus on the end goal, all right? We're going to take this. Knicks in 6.
Take it from the seasoned pro, Ash and Nicole Moss, when it comes to the Knicks and all the things that are floating out there. Ash, certainly appreciate it. Here's a look at those 3 games that we talked about. Again, one tight spread, Pistons and Magic. Looks like that one's down to 2.5 instead of 3.5, what I mentioned. But still double digits with those closeout games, Thunder and Nuggets, later tonight.